1964, the tribute!
Oh yeah, tell you something. I think you understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
Okay, it's 106.7. Dave McKay here. We have got a special guest on the line with us today. It is Mark Benson, who plays John Lennon in 1964, The Tribute. First of all, good morning to you, Mark.
Morning, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, sir. You guys are coming to Portland. It'll be later this month, March 17th through the 19th. We're so excited to see you guys at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. I think the reason we're so excited is we've been reading things like what the Rolling Stone has written about you. Called you the #1 Beatles tribute show on Earth.
Yes,
And
they did say that. Are they still writing about us?
they are indeed. And another quote, I just want to throw this out before we chat. Dick Clark, the legendary Dick Clark, said, hands down the best Beatles show out there today. And that says something.
Well, I couldn't be happier. We couldn't be happier. For all the accolades that people have bestowed upon us. We never thought this was going to be something to do seriously or full time. We hadn't intended it to be anything such as that. And for that, for it to come to this full circle, it's fantastic. Really, we have no complaints at all. Except it's a bit hard to get sleep now and then. That's all.
And Mark, how many years has the group been together?
This is our 23rd year that we've been touring around the planet, and as I said, we never thought it was going to be full time at all. And I think by the second year we were performing, it ended up being something we had to just say, well, we don't have time for anything else. Let's just do this.
And if you would tell me about some of the fascinating places you gentlemen have played as 1964 The Tribute.
Well, when you first start off, you play in nightclubs and that sort of thing, to get sort of name round, and then the thing that really surprised us is we hit huge in the college market, and we thought the kids would be, more interested in their own music, and they just ate this up. I think for about 8 or 9 years, we did nothing but colleges all across America and Canada, and it just surprised us, because all the kids were just, we were winning awards in the sort of college market, and that sort of blossomed into doing overseas work as well, and we were invited to go to Germany and play over there several times and meet lots of wonderful people. And from those shows there, we were invited to go be one of the first Western world groups to go to communist Germany when the wall came down.
Oh, fascinating.
And, and we thought, first off, you think, well, this would be fun. And then you think, well, they've never really been, the Beatles were never released in communist Germany. So we thought, well, maybe they won't know anything. Maybe they'll heard Twist and Shout or Yellow Submarine on Radio Free Europe or something, or smuggled records in. But they certainly didn't have the mass exposure to it as the rest of the world did. And we went there, and everybody, the children and, the grandparents, everybody sang along in English, another language for them, with every song we sang, not just the hits. I was just, we think, how do you know all this, But they did, and lucky for us. And from those shows, we were actually asked to come and perform at the ceremony where Helmut Kohl from West Germany and the Chancellor from the East actually signed the documents that reunited Germany. We got to meet both of them. Here we are standing with world leaders, and I'm thinking, what are we doing here, But they both had Beatles stories, which surprised me, So it pretty much proves that everybody seems to react favorably to Beatles.
Well, I'm chatting with Mark Benson, who plays John Lennon in 1964, The Tribute, and Dave McKay here with K-Hits Radio. You mentioned East Germany, and I noticed from your website you've had some pretty interesting spots in the United States. You played Red Rocks, is that correct?
Yes, the first 2004 was the anniversary of the Beatles performing at Red Rocks, the 40-year anniversary, and Sam Sperry from PBS television out there wanted to do something really special at Red Rocks. So he contacted us about coming up to do a show, and I didn't know the Beatles had played Red Rocks, but when we got there, it's a natural amphitheater. You probably know it's a natural amphitheater that holds 10,000 people in the mountains, and we thought maybe, well, we did 2,000 or 3,000, and it'd be a nice show and everybody go home happy. It sold completely out, 10,000 people. So we've been doing that every year since.
And in case anyone doesn't know, that's Red Rocks in Colorado, correct?
Yes, that's right. It's
Yes.
just outside in Golden, Colorado.
Yeah, beautiful location, too. And well, in some more urban locations, Carnegie Hall. You folks played Carnegie Hall, is that correct?
Yes, and that, we first, it was sort of like the George Harrison, George Martin sort of exchange. The old joke about when George Martin was the Beatles producer and said, if there's anything you don't like, just let me know. And George Harrison said, well, if we don't like your tie.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that. We met this promoter who wasn't really a promoter. He's just dead excited about working with us. And he said, well, what do you want to do? What's your goal? And we thought, let's shoot for something impossible. So Carnegie Hall, that's what we want to do. He said, okay, I'll get on it. And we thought, okay, well, whatever, And sure enough, we made it to Carnegie Hall. We've done 7 performances there. And it's just, the New York audience has just come out in droves. But it's not just the New Yorkers. People come from miles around and sometimes overseas, England and Germany and things like that, to go to New York and see the show at Carnegie Hall. And we're already booked for next year, January 12, 2008.
How do the British folks accept you?
Well, we were a bit nervous going, to Liverpool the first time because, that's when you think, well, these are the people that are going to let you know if you're good or not,
Mm-hmm.
And you expect that there's people all over the place over there doing it just perfectly. And they just opened the city to us, and we couldn't have been happier. It was a great festival, and it's the place you want to go if you're a Beatle fan. It's sort of Beatle Mecca, isn't it?
Introduce me to the other members of 1964, the tribute.
Well, I perform as John Lennon, and that's Mark Benson, and Gary Grimes, who's been a childhood friend of mine since we were in secondary school. He plays Paul McCartney. Now, Gary Grimes is not a bass player, and he's not left-handed, but he learned how to play bass guitar left-handed just for this show. And we've got Ringo, who's played by Terry Manfredi, and Terry is left-handed, just like Ringo is. But I don't know if many people know that Ringo was left-handed, but played the drums sort of set up as though he was right-handed. So that's sort of why Ringo played a bit different than other drummers, And then our guitarist performing at George Harrison is Tom Work, W-O-R-K, fantastic singer and great guitarist. And this is pretty much the original group from 23 years ago. So, we've all been doing this. We're practically, friends by now.
It certainly sounds like you've done your Beatles homework.
Well, it's a constant effort, really, because, your natural tendency when you're an artist of any sort, whether it's photography or dance or a musician or anything, is to progress in some direction. And our challenge is not to at all, to have it be just this way. It's a bit like being in Cats for a very, very long time.
But with better music. I say,
yes, that's true.
One final question for you, Mark. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Have you guys actually met any of the Beatles?
No, just their lawyers.
Yeah.
We had about a 2.5-year lawsuit with their company Apple Corp. But things turned out lovely, though, you see. We're the only group on the planet. There was a federal court document stating that we've got an agreement with Apple Corp Limited. So, we're all very happy. It's great for us because we get to do the show we've always wanted to do, and they're happy with us as well.
Well, we're all going to be very, very happy to see 1964, the tribute, March 17th, 18th, 19th, Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. We're looking forward to the show. Mark Benson as John Lennon, thank you very much for being along today with K-Hits.
Dave, thanks a lot for having us on. I'd just like to say we're looking forward to coming there, and it's a wonderful family show. If you've got kids, bring them along. If you've got grandparents, bring them along. Bring everyone. It's great fun.
Got that something